Can we talk about the Joe Shimoda with like the breaking of the hands?
I saw a picture of his
That
hand
was
today. Wow. Who
that's crazy.
whose pit board did he hit?
I'm not. It looked like a club uh, pit board. It was so fast. I think I saw like a little bit of purple and some other colors, and I'm like, I think they had a little bit of that on their bike last week
Oh,
or
you saw the
two.
colors on
I,
his hand or
I
something?
no. I mean, saying like, yeah, right, the imprint of the uh, of the logo, but it was so fast, dude. Who knows, right? I don't want to speculate, but man, what bum! And it's a fluke thing. Those guys are so fast with the, the reholstering of the board. It's
Well, and
um
even then, like
insane.
you, I would not be afraid to drive into and run right into a pit board with my hand because
Oh
I
yeah,
would think that it would be
for
fine.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Because I thought pit boards were
But for
pretty
me,
light. What does Club MX have a pit board made of lead?
yeah, yeah, they're cast iron pit boards.
Man, shout
No,
out.
I don't know. I think he caught it like on like the sharp edge too, and not
Uh
like the
huh.
big like where you could just like knock it out of the dude's hand. So I think things just somehow this perfect storm for breaking. Jackson asked us a question last night on our live watch party. What is the minimum like injury that you would be able to sustain or want to sustain and still be able to race that night?
The minimum? What do you mean?
Like what's the like what would it take, or sorry, maximum injury, not
Okay.
minimum. What is like the most hurt you would take and then still try to line up for the night show or main event or whatever?
Well, I could speak from experience in that I showed up to Denver Supercross one year. This was probably the most collective injuries that I had. I didn't get hurt that day, but I got hurt like Thursday prior.
19.
Yeah, the year that it snowed was that 19. I think the year before COVID, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
19.
I showed up
Yep.
to that race, and at that week at RJ Hampshire's track, I broke a few ribs. I separated my shoulder. I punctured my lung. I fractured my scapula, and I didn't know this until I rode free practice, and had pain in my hand, and was like, "Huh." I would go into the Alpine Star Medical thing, and they X-ray it, and I had a
Yeah.
fractured hand. Uh,
Oh
on
my
top
gosh.
of all of those other things. And
Not to mention the punctured lung at
at,
altitude in
and it was
freezing air.
snowing.
Oh, it was snow. It was so cold.
Imagine all of those injuries I just named
Yeah,
at
it was
5,000
so
feet of
cold.
elevation while it's snowing and trying to ride a supercross track. Like, what a freaking moron I
Yeah,
am. But yeah, hey,
yeah.
I had got a shot of Toradol in my butt, and I was able to do it. Um, every injury is a little bit different. It is amazing though in Moto how you can be pretty hurt, and because you're on a
Mm,
bike, it does definitely mess you up for sure. You're compensating the whole
mm,
time, but you can strap
yes.
yourself in and like tape yourself up and
Hmm.
basically get on that bike and kind of make it happen. The Toradol shots that you can
Oh, for
get
sure.
that they inject into your booty um, help for sure.
Mm,
But
yeah.
yeah, that's that's definitely one part I don't miss about it. Is there have
Yeah.
been some times when I've been riding in so much pain. What about, have you ever
Mm.
ridden in a lot of pain that you can remember? Any broken bones or anything?
Um, I think I had like a severe thing with my knee that happened. I popped my shoulder out and kept riding. The year that I fought, you and I were racing uh, Moto Town Supercross, and I followed you off that inside line and cracked my
Yep.
wrist. Tony gave me like 4 weeks to heal up, and he was like, "You got 4 weeks, and whatever your body's doing, you're racing." So, dude, I had to like cut the cast off. I'm sure it was still fractured. Had to race with that. Um, Definitely rode way sooner than I should have after I tore my liver. I could feel it every like whoop at Southwick. I was like, what's funny? You mentioned Toradol. Not many people know what that drug is. When during the like Maeve's birthday delivery and all that stuff, the nurse was going like, "Oh, we've got morphine." I was like, "Ooh, that's good." And they're like, "We got Toradol." I was like, "Ooh, that one's nice." And then she's like, "We got Percocets." I'm like, "That's a nice little edge." She's like, how do you know all this? I was like, oh, I race dirt bikes. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, you know all the stuff. But I was like, it was like a menu of like Toradol, a little sweets, morphine. I'm not that tired though, you know.
Man.
It was. It was
I've
crazy.
also 2016 450 class. I tore my ACL in time qualifying, and then I raced that night. I think I might have made the main event in the 450 class that night with the torn ACL, and actually that is what started. That was my first day and first night of riding with both feet on the pegs, because I was obviously it was torn. I had I had them tape it up like absolutely crazy, and I was so terrified. Everybody's ACL tears experience are different too. Some people tear their ACLs and like, oh, it wasn't even painful at all. Mine, I heard it pop over my bike. I was hitting whoops in the 450 class, dabbed my foot, and I heard it pop over the noise of my 450. Extremely, extremely, extremely painful. I rode back over to my mechanic, Jeremiah, at the time, and I just tip over and fall into him. And I started riding with both feet on the pegs from that night, and then finished the whole season. I actually had my best 450 season ever, riding with both feet on the pegs with the torn ACL. Yeah.
Yep.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.